my soul is tormented by a succubus. Calling sis, pencil dripping from the way I spit. Fell in love.
When it comes to the final season of the 7 Deadly Sins, what I'm beginning to see constantly is people asking about the English dub, which also affects the Western release of the anime because both the sub and the dub come out at the same time in the West. Now, we know Japan will be getting the release of the first episode of season 5 in a few months from now. If you want to hear all about that, I made a video the moment the information was made available, so you could go check that out and you'll know everything there is to know. But as for our release date, and by our, I mean people in the West, things are different. They've always been different, and the current situation revolving around the English release is weirder than before. If you live in the West, then the only way to watch this series legally is to go on Netflix and watch it, which everyone should pretty much know by now. And when you do that, it says at the start a Netflix original series. But if you watch it illegally on some pirate website, you probably won't see it say that, and you'll also be watching the anime with worse animation than you would on Netflix, because Netflix uses the final animation same as the Blu-rays instead of the rough animation you see on pirate sites. On pirate sites, you also would have to read fan-made subtitles instead of official translations, because what you're seeing is just versions of the episodes stolen from Japan. But if the show is a Netflix original series, then why doesn't Netflix put it out everywhere at the same time? That way we can see it at the same time as Japan. Well, even if they could do that, the dub would have to be behind the sub, because if you put the sub out right away, the English cast would need the time to dub it afterward, and the dubbing process for just one episode, as said by Colleen Clickenbeard, a director at Funimation, is usually about a week, and that is for in-studio recording. There isn't any word on if they haven't stopped just recording from home. The reason why I mentioned Funimation is because Netflix is partnered with them to create the English version of the anime, since Netflix doesn't actually have its own studio. But even if they agreed to put out the sub first on Netflix, we still would run into the issue of Netflix putting out the episodes all at once. This means we would still have to wait for all the episodes to be finished. But then you may ask, how come in Japan they release it weekly? Well, remember when I said the illegal versions don't say Netflix original? That's because in Japan the episodes actually don't air on Netflix, they air on TV, which is why Signs of Holy War is not season 2 in Japan, because that never aired on Japanese television. It's only season 2 on Netflix. Also, if you're still confused on why the season numbers are different on Netflix than Japan, I also have a video going into further detail, more than I have ever had in my last video for the show, so go check that out. So factors pushing back the release are the fact it releases weekly in Japan, dubbing the anime, and waiting for the animation studio to then go back and polish the animation for every single episode after they finish releasing it all in Japan. Usually with all these factors involved, then it takes 5 to 6 months after the release of the final episode of the season for it to release for us on Netflix, which means the earliest likely release date for the final season of the 7 Deadly Sins would be in June or July of 2021. But I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I would appreciate it if you left a like before you go. My name's Konjik, and I'll talk to you in the next video.